Firing up the trade machine. Boop, 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 boop. And here's what it spit out. Nashville receives William Nylander, and the Toronto Maple Leafs receive UC Saros. Now, the money on this one is interesting. Nylander heading into the final season of a contract that pays him $6.9 million, and then he is a UFA. The Nashville Predators have UC Saros under contract 2 more seasons, $5 million per, then he is a UFA. You look at this deal, Liam, I'll let you go first. Who says no? What changes could maybe have to be made to it?
I think Nashville says no. I think Nashville could get like a little bit more out of it. It's so hard to get that stud goaltender over like a stud forward, I think is fair to say. And Nylander would probably go into that team and be their best forward. It's
100%.
No disrespect to him, but I think Toronto would have to throw in a little bit more if this was to happen. And also, I just don't know where Nashville are at right now. Are they rebuilding? Because they were like 2 points off making the playoffs this season.
Yeah.
They've got a ton of picks and somehow they came that close. They're in such an interesting spot. They got some bad contracts too with Duchesne and Johansson. Like, where are they at? I just don't think this works well for Nashville.
Here's why I think it kind of does.
Okay.
Saros only has 2 more years left, and he's a UFA. This summer is probably the most value he holds.
That's true.
Because of that great cap hit. Yaroslav Askarov had a 2.4 goals against average and a .910 save percentage. In the play, he had a 269 and a .911 in the regular season. That guy is 21 years old. We've seen young goalies now around the league, Skinner, Ottinger, step in and take on these jobs. If you're Nashville, maybe there's other pieces that have to get thrown into here because Nashville's cap situation, it's interesting. They have projected $15.5 million, so they could take on some money, hypothetically. If you're Nashville and the Leafs go, okay, we'll give you Nylander, you're going to give us Saros, and maybe in there as well, like we swap out, you got to take the Matt Murray contract and we give you a future asset or something like that. I think this deal actually makes a lot of sense for both sides. If Toronto's trying to freshen up their core, UC Saros would help you win a lot of hockey games next year, man. And if you're the Preds and you either get Samsonov or you get Murray in the deal, if he's healthy, you bring up Askarov, you pair him with one of those two, you play Askarov 40 games, the other guy 40 games next year. Kevin Lankinen is still there too. He has 1 more year on his deal. They extended him, so maybe they don't even want a vet goalie in this thing. My point is, Saros helps the Leafs win a lot next year. I love Nylander as a player, but you got to give to get. You're not moving Marner or Matthews in this deal. Get a stud number 1 goalie. The Preds get a stud high-end forward who can finally drive offense for them. You talk about you're not sure where they're at. Yossi, McDonough, Barry on the back end. Duchesne, Johansson up front. Those guys aren't getting any younger. So why not bring in a guy like Nylander who can help keep you competitive now, but will also be good 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line when some of your younger pieces are starting to come up as well? I think this makes sense.
I think it's an interesting trend that is coming up in the NHL now is players are getting moved with length on their contracts, which I think is the right way to do it, to be honest. Like you just listed off all those guys that Nashville had, and like you said, none of them are getting any younger. So maybe it does make a little bit more sense than I initially thought. If anything, like Toronto is going to have to go out and find a stud goaltender like that this summer. And it does seem like Saros would be a great option for them. Obviously, it'd be a great option for most teams, but the trade itself doesn't not make sense to me.
Yeah. A lot of people say Nashville says no. Okay, so Toronto maybe adds a little bit onto this. I think that is fair. Usually Saros is a perennial Vezina caliber. And I will say the caveat in this is Nylander signs an extension, I think.
Yes.
I think Nashville does it if Nylander is locked up for the next 8 seasons and is going to stay there. He's a play-driving forward. He's a really damn good hockey player.
90 points this year.
And I know goalies are hard to get. I get it. Stud goalies like that, very difficult to come by. But they have Askarov coming. So again, sometimes you got to do stuff like this and take a gamble of selling Saros as high as you possibly can, bringing in a high-end talent, Askarov ready to jump up, saves you money too because you can just run him and Lankinen as your duo next year, spend some money somewhere else. I don't know.
It's just, for both those teams, it's going to be a very interesting offseason. Obviously, the new GM in, what's his name? Barry Trotz in Nashville. So